Welcome to the channel. I am not exactly sure all that I'm going to do with it, but it is going to focus on sports cards. And since my username is Maravich Collector, and I have collected Maravich for the longest and the most extensively, it felt fitting that the first video would focus on his cards and the top 10 that I have currently. This video will just break down 10, not necessarily, in terms of value. They are going to be roughly, get more expensive as the video goes along. But I took into account other things like, any sort of significance of the card, or, if the card has any meaning to me, or even just the aesthetics of the card itself. Number 10 is a 2008-2009 Topps Chrome Gold Refractor. These are becoming harder to get as time goes on. Number 250. I've owned a couple of these. This is the best copy that I've owned. It's one that I've kept. Centering is pretty much 50-50. Surface is clean. I'm looking for the red 2.5. I missed out on the last one that popped up. And then, of course, I have not seen the Superfractor, but it is out there. Maybe it's in a box somewhere. But this will do for now. Next up, number 9 from Flawless. I believe this is the second year, 2013-14. Number 29. It is a piece of game-used Boston Celtics jersey. You can see the stripe, but not much of a patch besides for that. You can see the stitching up top, and being the first one off the print adds a little bit. Card's in good condition overall for a thick card. There's lower numbered parallels of this that I've seen before. I haven't seen the 1/1, but I would like to. Next up is a couple vintage cards back to back. This is his second year card. This is a PSA 8. As you can see, centering is pretty much 50-50. That was my focus when I was doing his playing days run. I wanted to make sure that they were centered and had a clean surface. So I didn't just buy the first one that I saw. I took time and made sure that I got one that I knew that I could keep pretty much forever and be happy with it. And this is a great looking card. I love the retro Atlanta jersey, and I love the yellow contrasting with the blues and the greens. Very similar to the next one here. So this is actually his third year card, but it'll typically sell about the same or even more than his second year card. You have the image of him dribbling between his legs, which is, a better picture, in terms of, he's actually doing a basketball move than the second year card. And the pink looks very cool with the background and the colors. I like that it mentions his basketball camp. That's where a lot of his cut autographs that you'll see come from, is the certificates from that camp. This is a really nice looking card. I would love to be able to own one of these that is signed. I've seen a few that look nice. Next up is 2 cards that I'll put together, so I can't really justify making them separate. This is the third year of Prism, and this is the black and the black Pulsar, both 1/1. I like the True Black. This year they look almost gray compared to the other years, and the Pulsar really does pop. But these look really nice together. I like the purple Jazz jersey with the black background. I actually got both of these in a trade along with some other one-of-ones of him a few years back. Next up, 2015-16 National Treasures game used patch from the same, or maybe it's a different one, but I know Panini had a few different, I think 2, a home and an away, Maravich game used jerseys. This is, a nice patch, probably from the number. Looks a little bit too wide to be from the letter or part of his name. So I would guess it's from 44, either on the front or on the back. This is numbered 2 of 2. I have seen the 1 of 2. The patch is about the same. And I found the guy who had it, but he didn't have it anymore. So I'm still looking for that one. I would love to put those together. Game use, of course. The foil on this looks super nice. I like that it has the Hall of Fame logo and then the year that he was inducted. Next up, I've thought about upgrading this one. This is a 7, but I really wanted to make sure I got one that was centered, and this one looks like it's centered left to right, from what I can tell. A little bit of like a slant cut to it, but a lot of them from this set have that. Top to bottom's off, but the corners are just, like razor sharp. It looks like a pack fresh card. Probably his most iconic, recognizable card. I know there's 2 PSA 10s of this, and I'll never financially be in a place to own either of those. But this PSA 7 I've had for a while, and I'm trying to get a better angle so you can see the centering. These are almost always centered poorly, and this one looks pretty good. The surface is clean. This looks better than most 8s that I've seen. Next up is probably the best Maravich patch card that I've ever seen. It's Exquisite number 225 from 2006-2007. You have the plain purple, 3-color, 3-color, and then a 2-color. I've compared this to other Maravich cards that have jerseys, upper deck cards, and this one appears to be the same one that's part of the letter on the back of his name, because the stitching looks identical to the letter min cards that I've seen of him. This looks like part of the trim. I've seen this on other cards, and this, I believe, is from a warm-up jacket that they had, and this is just the plain patch. But this card was on a COM-C for a long time, and I was able to reach out to the seller and add this to my collection. There is a out of a 10 version that I would like to get as well, but this is the best patches that I've seen on any card vid. Number 2, second year Prism. This is the first year with 1-of-1s. He has the Finite, they called it the Black Mosaic that year. Then he has a True Black 1-of-1. This is a 9.5. It's a True Gem Plus with a 10 first surface. To have a Prism card that's over a decade old, being that sort of condition is impressive. 1-of-1, of course. I would say this is Maravich's best Prism card. I've seen the True Black. It doesn't have this high of a grade, and I don't think it looks as nice as the Mosaic Finite Effect. I would say this is probably maybe the single best Panini card that Maravich has. Maybe a high grade first year Prism gold, but it's hard to beat his first black 1/1 Prism, especially one that has such a high grade. I would have preferred probably the purple Jazz jersey, or maybe the green Hawks jersey. I don't love this picture, but the card itself is, I mean, it's one of the best looking cards I have. And then number 1, I've owned a few Maravich autographs. This is the first cut autograph that I ever got. It's the highest graded. It's got a 10 auto, which you just don't see for him. This is his first cut from 2006 Press Pass, which was a licensed collegiate product, numbered 2/5. 2 + 5 is 7, which was his number with the Jazz. The autograph, it's almost like a red, maybe like a brown pen. It's kind of hard to see exactly what the color, but it's kind of interesting. It goes well with the card itself. The card, is a pretty nice looking card. He has a cut out of 8 in the next year of Press Pass. Then he has a chronology cut in his Utah Jazz jersey the year after that, and that's numbered to 7. That's a card that I would like to be able to get one day. But I do think him in his LSU jersey, I mean, he's, besides Kareem, probably the greatest college player, at least in terms of like the statistics that he was able to amass over his career. So I think having him in his iconic, he was successful in the NBA, but a college was probably his peak. So I do like that he's in the LSU jersey for this card. And I've only ever seen the 4/5, and the autograph didn't look great. And I haven't seen the rest of them. And I've, been looking for, 10, 15 years. This came up for sale on eBay, and I was able to reach out to the buyer and make a deal off of eBay. Don't tell eBay that. But, this is, a card that, I'm excited to be able to have and eventually, pass down to my kids one day. This is like a piece of basketball history right here. Maravich died, pretty young. He was 40 years old. It was in the late 80s. So he doesn't have any actual licensed autographs. He just has cuts and then cards that he signed. I've owned cards that he's signed before, but I do prefer the licensed cuts with the full name on it. All right, that is it. Thank you.